How's it going, guys? My name is Graham. Welcome to Two Left Thumbs. I'm joined today by Wanderbot. We're taking a look at Darksburg, a roguelike action RPG that recently left early access. Doing a little bit of online co-op action.
Trying to see which of these characters are actually worthwhile.
Right, I did open it up for just a couple minutes just to look at the different character types. Oh, Abigail looks like straight up the barbarian.
Yeah.
I thought maybe she'd be a little barbarian, a little paladin, but I think she's just straight up barbarian.
Yeah, I think she's full barbarian. Runolf is like a battle cook, and I think Varag is actually more of the tank.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe?
Not druidy
Yeah,
or
because
anything.
he's got a shield.
I guess you're just always a wolf.
Yeah. I think the bottom two are ranged.
Having a poison character could be fun. I guess we probably don't want two ranged characters.
I'm gonna go battle chef. Oh, that's interesting. Wait, the currency is chicken. Okay.
I'll try out Abigail. Barbarian was always my go-to in Diablo.
Redemption is at hand.
The game will start shortly.
Yeah. Barbarian was my go-to in Diablo 2. In Diablo 3, I think I went full necromancer.
Oh, that was fun. I couldn't help myself but just be the barbarian again.
So, my problem is I've played Diablo 3 twice. Once at launch, where the barbarian just died endlessly, because I think the enemies were overtuned, and mainly just the loot was bad. And so I couldn't kite because I was the melee guy. And so I just had a really sour impression from launch week.
Yeah, launch Diablo was pretty rough.
It was so bad.
As soon as they took out that auction house, then it was like a fine experience. I was down. I think I played like through to max level with every character.
Wow. I think by the time Diablo was finally good, I was too deep into... Oh, Cabinet of Curiosities. Okay, this looks like the meta progression. Well, I'll leave that for later. We don't have any. Ah, wow.
Oh god, okay, just letting them loose right onto us immediately.
Yep. I was under the impression that we'd have like a little bit of a run-up, and the answer is no.
Maybe someone who introduces us to what's going on or anything? No need.
Nope. It's a roguelike. You'll figure it out. It's Diablo. How are you going to get confused by how to play these games?
Smash enemies.
Yeah.
That about sums it up, I think. I actually just really recently revisited Diablo 1 start to finish.
Ooh.
I mean, it's rough, but that game holds up. It's still awesome.
I want to. I'm trying to convince a group of people at some point to do like a hardcore run of the Diablo series, because I think that would be really interesting. You know, race to the finish.
Oh wow, I don't think I've ever done a hardcore character. The thought of losing everything terrifies me.
Neither have I. It would be great media though. You know, kind of the like somebody drops, you know, a couple hours in, maybe second session. Maybe somebody dies immediately, and then it's just, you know, kind of every person that goes raises the stakes because the game gets harder. Well,
we did try to do a Nuzlocke on the channel once, and I did enjoy that. So maybe for the sake of content, I would enjoy that sort of high-risk scenario more than in my casual life.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Casual, completely different. I absolutely despise hardcore anything.
Ooh, Fire Emblem's my one exception. I will always play permadeath Fire Emblem.
I say that to myself, but then what really happens is does this game have just no music?
Doesn't seem like it, no. I have it turned down.
That's a shame.
Yeah. Sorry, Fire Emblem.
Yeah, with Fire Emblem, I turn on the permadeath, and then I reset to the beginning of the battle if any of my characters die. Like, I can't accept the loss.
Right.
So eventually I just said to myself, you know what, permadeath, I'm not going to be able to commit to it, even if I wanted to.
I do make personal exceptions. Like, I will absolutely have a favorite character who I will reset to save. The latest game added, like, I've just started playing Three Houses, and it has this rewind feature that you can use a limited time per battles. And then it just means, okay, if a guy dies, I rewind, and that's it.
I ended up never using it. Let's see. How are you liking Three Houses? Because I was I'm not gonna say tepid on it. It was too long for me.
I hated my first hour with it because you don't do like any battling, so I thought that was lame. Then I got really into it for like 6 or 7 hours, and then I haven't played it in weeks. I just suddenly stopped caring.
Yeah.
They added all these like big boss battles where you fight like a big giant wolf that takes 9 characters to kill, and I don't know, I wasn't into it.
I liked the idea of them. There were just so many of them. So we don't actually have a good way of healing, do we? Or you do?
I haven't seen any potion or health globes or anything.
Oh, well, here we go.
Oh, you can heal us. Or is that something else?
I guess. Yeah, so that's my adult. Or adult, god damn it. That's my ultimate. Let's see.
Does
just
adult
temp
come
health.
from something? Is that a cross
no,
in your brain?
look, brain farts are my specialty.
Gotcha.
I get my wires crossed often when I'm talking, and I can't break out of it, and so I've just accepted it that I will make the weirdest non-Freudian slips.
Right, there's no possible conceivable connection there. I'll learn to look past.
I think I saw you commenting on Twitter about like leaving in intentional mistakes. I think Splattercat.
Yeah,
Splattercat was talking about it,
saying like, "Oh, there's no better way to boost engagement," and I was like, "Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. You just, that's one of the things I summon. It's supposed to be like, how do you describe it? Like a taunt, like enemies are drawn to it. So if I chuck that there, they should all try to like go to the little thing I planted." Yeah, I definitely have experienced like a terrible... Usually it's not just a slip like that. It's like a factual thing that I got wrong about the game, and people can't wait to comment, but then all that does is just help. Just puts extra eyes on it. This is my first perk. Have you earned a perk yet?
I just got my first perk. I am just learning as I go.
Yeah, this seems really cool, actually.
Yeah, so I think the point is, because it's kind of rogue Diablo, you kind of level up mid-run, get some MOBA level. Like, it's a MOBA level setup where you get to pick a couple of perks between runs. Maybe there's gear that you get on the runs, and then when you're done, it just resets to the beginning.
Wisdom bonus. Oh, just extra experience for a minute. Okay,
yeah.
I kind of wish... Yeah, gear and loot is, like, my favorite part about Diablo. I think it's most people's favorite. So I hope that is incorporated in some way. I can understand that's difficult in a rogue
I saw it at the very beginning. There was, like, a chest that had temporary items. Or not temporary items, but items that we bring with us.
I found a chest that had gold. I actually didn't notice if it had anything else. My ultimate was very satisfying. Just a giant laser beam.
Yeah. I've got the cauldron that I totally wasted. Doesn't look like we're timed here, which is good.
The healing cauldron was your ultimate?
By the way? Yeah.
Oh, pardon?
Can you pick up that mushroom or no?
I'm not even...
you can't even see
think
them.
I did read that your guy has, like... The mushrooms are a specific thing to that character. I think only you see them.
I just didn't know if they were... I just didn't know if there was something that you could interact with as well.
No, I don't even see them.
Okay.
I'm curious how that is that like part of how your mana pool works or anything?
Well, I don't have a mana pool. I just got things on a cooldown, but the mushrooms...
Oh yeah, I guess me too. I just didn't even really think about it.
Yeah, the mushrooms give me temp HP. The white bar.
Oh, okay.
So,
I am maybe benefiting from that as well.
Yeah, I think you're getting a fair bit of temp HP. As long as you're standing in the orange goop, that should be beneficial to you.
Yeah, are you like sliding around on soup?
Yeah?
That's awesome. Yeah, that definitely helps. Good to know. Standing in the purple vortex seemed not good. I didn't know if that was you or the enemies.
That's the enemies.
Okay.
I just figured my ult was going, so I'd be okay. I guess that was the case. Well, this is kind of neat.
It seems fairly easy to tank damage so far. I haven't really had to, like, worry too much.
Yeah, the lack of consistent healing anywhere is a little spooky, but that's what the temp health from Battle Chef.
I guess if you had a rogue game that was just pumping out healing, that wouldn't be that would be nothing.
Yeah, it would be boring.
Although now that I know about your soup thing, I'm very heavily following your lead, so I can try and benefit from that. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Do I gain that health, or it's just temporary, like you said?
It's temporary, so it'll go down over time. Let's see. As long as you are absorbing soup, you should be okay.
It makes a huge difference, actually.
Yep.
I upgraded my bell, and so now it should explode when it runs out of a timer, which seems really good. The bell is like the thing I summon. That might be unclear. Yep. Oh yeah, big explosion. And second, perk. I don't know if you need help. Should I be helping you instead of looking at perks?
I'm good for a second.
Okay.
Because I've got all the temp HP, it's almost easier for me. Because then I don't have to move, because I can just sit in one spot.
Okay.
Let's see, what I should probably do is just stop and actually pick my perk too, but I see things to hit, and I will continue to hit until you're free.
Yeah, it's very easy to just chain that together, isn't it? I tried to choose my perk based on the skill that I felt I was using the least, because it clearly felt not powerful enough. There's like 2 zombies just climbing out.
Yeah, I think they just keep respawning endlessly.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I just dropped that on you. Oh, is that only a little bit? Oh, that's unfortunate.
Your soup trails seem to contribute a lot more. Oh, that was the biggest waste of an ultimate I've ever done.
Yeah, I did that in the beginning. I was like, hey, look, enemies. Oh, wait, that was probably my good move.
Oh, so here's one of the boxes that you can open just off on the side here.
I see.
An elixir, which did that just automatically take effect? Oh, you have it over top of your head. I have a thing over my head.
Yeah, so it should be on the UI.
Yeah, okay. I totally had a healing item this whole time. Oh, maybe it's only temporary. Crap.
It's okay. Actually, in that case, I'm gonna just... Well, I was gonna drop the elixir, but I picked it up immediately. So you said at the beginning of this, you haven't really collaborated with a whole lot of other YouTubers. How long have you been doing YouTube?
Oh, I mean, like, there's like a set group who I will like consistently play games with, and I do a lot of local multiplayer stuff, so that kind of fills in the multiplayer side. But I've been, how old's the channel? Like 4 to 5 years?
Okay.
Yeah, it's on the upper end for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be kind of the story for most people. There's a couple of people that have really meteoric rises, but slow game for I think almost everyone I know.
Oh yeah, I've only witnessed a couple of the big ones, and they were very like, oh cool, there's like an event here.
Yep.
Yeah, one guy just kind of switched gears to fully family friendly, and like that just caught on and did well, but it resulted in like basically having to delete all his previous collaborations and everything. Or
I haven't gotten full family friendly, but I've definitely like tried to make an effort of cutting down on swearing as much as I used to.
Oh, me too. It feels cheap almost. Like I couldn't think of a better thing to say.
Yeah, I was using it as too much of a verbal crutch. Oh, which wasn't great.
Exactly. I completely relate. If you look at any of my like first year of stuff, I'm dropping the F word every fourth word, and it just feels like unintelligent or something. Like it's not a good feeling. So no, I totally respect that. Or wait. We're getting little text things in the corner here, and I don't know. Are you Runolf?
Yeah, I think I'm Runolf.
Oh, okay. Did you didn't get killed just now, did you?
Nope, I'm fine. I took out a boss.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there, and I kind of lost track of everything.
It's a mess. I'm definitely digging how this is organized. It's got that Diablo feel, but I don't feel like I'm just mindlessly blowing through things. Not being able to heal in a Diablo-like actually makes a weird difference.
Oh, for sure. I think they did a good balance, though, of, like, having a reasonable health pool and everything.
Yeah.
If we didn't have you constantly stacking temp health, I have no idea how
We'd probably be
we
quite
would have
dead.
managed.
Here, I'm actually gonna pick up this thing. There's an elixir on the ground for a permanent heal.
Sure, I'll take that. And you're picking up the gyroscope?
Oh. Yeah, so it looks like the gyroscope is actually a use item instead. So it's not a consumable, I can use it whenever I want.
Like, repeatedly?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just
neat.
on a cooldown. Refreshes all of my cooldowns?
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
Start, like, chaining that together. I also, I'm curious if we're seeing gold and whatever these are, like, glyph drops separately?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not, like, stealing your
think
gold
so.
by picking up gold when I see it.
Even if you were, I don't think I would care. This actually seems like a rad enough roguelike that I'll just play more of it on my own. So even if, you know, turns out, yeah, we don't...
If I happen to be stealing away everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, the campfire only gets you to 1/3? That's not very forgiving.
Nope. So it looks like we need 50 of the purple gems to unlock a curiosity. We can equip up to 4 curiosity, common, 3 fancy, and 2 extravagant. So this actually is going to require a fair bit of play. Oh, yeah, campfire only does take you to a certain amount.
Yeah, I only found 24 of these glyphs. Was there anything in the shop you could actually afford?
I bought a healing potion. I figured I might as well.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm just gonna instantly use that elixir you left me and buy another one.
Okay. Yeah, you might as well. So
I was at a lot less health than you, apparently.
It's fine. Let's see. So, quick introduction for people watching at least live. I mostly will never bring it up, but seeing as they're asking, you are... You know, I've never asked pronunciation, because are you Graham?
Oh, yeah, Graham. It's the exact same
Okay.
as when you see it, Graham. That totally throws people off, but
thought
it's the
so.
same. Yeah.
Yeah, so you're Graham from Two Left Thumbs. And,
That's right.
I mean, I mostly know you from your random indie games, but I think most people probably know you for your sort of theory videos on,
Yeah, like Easter
Henry
egg
Stickmin.
stuff has kind of caught on recently.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's been the main draw lately, so I'm kind of focusing on that a bit more, but I still just love playing random
well, after Henry
indies.
Stickmin. And I guess you did Undertale for a while, too.
Yeah, that was the first ever, like, break, I guess I would call it. And the Stickman stuff has been huge lately, too, which is just always so fun when something I care about, like, connects with an audience.
Takes off. I remember seeing you play it, and I was like, oh, I should play that. And within, like, 2 days, it's just like, holy shit, everybody's playing it and really into it.
That was
think you can
just
pick that one
really lucky for me, yeah, that happened to match up. I found a phosphorus canister. It explodes on impact and temporarily stuns enemies. Like, when you found your thing that you can use repeatedly, is it mapped to T?
Yeah.
And does it have a
pretty sure I can
little
use it
Roman
repeatedly.
numeral 1 in the corner? Because that's either telling me...
Yeah, so I think there's higher tiers of them.
Yeah. Okay, I was worried that meant it only had 1 charge, but I think you're right. That's just like a tiered thing.
Let's see. And the other thing to introduce, the chicken?
Chickens!
What?
Gotta take out the chicken.
Murder it.
Yeah, obviously, right? What the cluck was the
Okay.
achievement for taking him down? I don't know what the purpose was.
I think you use them to unlock hero skins. Because I saw when we were starting out that it had like 50 chickens.
Oh wow, that's a crazy amount needed if that's the case.
Yeah, maybe they're worth an X amount of value, or they really do expect you to play that much. Luckily, it's just a skin, so I don't care too much. If it was like 50 chickens to unlock a character,
Yeah, that'd be a bit much, I think. I did see people say that like it's an early access title, so there's not like a ton
it
to the
just
game
went
just
1.0.
yet.
I think it started early access, and they
Oh no,
they
you're
released
right.
it fully.
It is
You
like
should
the
take
1.0 now, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was September 23rd that Darksburg came out. Let's see. Oh, hey. There's the time warping gyroscope, which is what I got.
Oh, okay, yeah, so it's one or the other. I'll stick
Yeah.
with the phosphorus thing since that's like new. I need an
Is it a,
excuse to use it.
like
We
a
keep
damage
killing
nuke?
everything. I'll chuck it at these guys. The stun seems
There we
useful,
go.
I guess. It's not very strong. Oh, I think we just entered another event.
Okay.
Which I'm trying to, like... I have a perk waiting to be assigned, but I'm
Yep.
also kind of dying. So I'm
Yeah, I should probably be more proactive. I just had a perk, and I was like, I'll grab it quick. You seem to have it, and you're just like, oh, an event has spawned. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I see, yeah. Clear foes in the area. Got it.
I guess it might be worth it to... Oh crap, maybe I can't drop this item that I'm holding. Oh, you can swap. Alright, I'm good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to apply a bandage that I found. Just try to keep me
Yep.
going.
Oh, by the way, apparently, you know how there's the Roman numerals next to stuff?
Yes.
The more you pick up the same artifact, that's how you go up the Roman numerals.
Oh,
it's not a
I
meta
did-
progression system so much as a... Okay.
Stacking
Well,
or something?
yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
have guessed that they would have pulled a mechanic from Diddy Kong Racing.
Nice. I never played Diddy Kong. I don't think I actually got into racing games until post-college, and I was like, oh, these are kind of fun. And then there just weren't any good ones that weren't just modern.
Right. Yeah, I kind of miss kart racers. Sonic Transformed was a good one.
Yeah, it was my favorite.
I didn't
I
actually
wanted
have
to get into the-
any consoles growing up, so I just played whatever my cousins had.
We always had Nintendo consoles. That was what my family could justify, and then we eventually convinced them to pick up a PS2 for like $50 at the, like, well after the PS3 came out, and it's like, well, okay, this kind of works.
Oh, we got another chicken, by the way. Well, that seems like a steal. I feel like the PS2 people, like, say it's, like, one of the best.
Yeah.
Like, that game had a wild amount of awesome games for it.
Yeah, I to be honest, I think actually I ended up picking up mostly PS1 games. But the PS2 was cool, but the PS1 games were so cheap at the time, especially. That it was just like, yeah,
that's fair.
let's just load up on every old school Final Fantasy game that we can. So, I never bought any of the PS2 Final Fantasies, but I bought all of the PS1 ones, and then pretty much never played them because Final Fantasy Tactics on the Game Boy was just so good.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, like, I think I've only played Final Fantasy 3. I've played Final Fantasy 3 and Tactics. And honestly, I don't need another Final Fantasy game. Tactics was too good.
Tactics was way too good.
It ruined regular, like, I played it first, and then I played 3,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, this is cool, I guess, but I just wish it was Tactics.
I just found every Final Fantasy game restrictive up until about 12, because Tactics, like, just the amount of stuff that you could do with picking your characters was just so... Or not picking your characters, but, like, picking their class, their gear, their abilities.
Oh, for
Just
sure.
everything else felt limited.
Yeah, that game was, like, hugely influential, I think, on the types of games I liked. I don't think there was anything I would remotely call strategy that I played before that. And then that opened a whole new world.
Healing potion for you.
Did you just find so many of those glyphs?
The little purple things?
Yeah, I just it's committed to calling them that without knowing if that's what the game calls them.
Yeah. We'll go with it. Let's see. I've got 27 currently. I don't know
Yeah,
how
me
many you
too.
have.
Okay. So
Okay.
if either of us picks up money or the glyphs, then I guess we both get it.
They're shared.
That's good.
That's good.
Well, that means I don't think this count carried over from the first area. So I think we have 50, if I'm right about that.
Maybe? No, I think we just get them so slowly.
Oh man, that is a really... I accidentally triggered a new area. There's like these spell casting guys. There's a lot going on. It seems like you're carving through things pretty effectively here.
I don't have to worry about my HP because I've just got endless mushrooms. So actually, the more damage I take, the more temp health I can accrue, which puts me in a very good spot.
Yeah, that sounds unstoppable.
I am very happy with the battle chef I've got rolling.
Actually, now that I've applied a few perks and everything too, I feel like all my skills are a little like punchier and they feel way more impactful, and so that feels really good actually, the way all that's been progressing.
Yeah, I don't know. Whenever I try to play like a modern Diablo game, I think I end up getting kind of bored because the pacing is real slow. This has that kind of like increase in power without as much of this log. We're still just plowing through loads and loads of dudes, but
yeah. I mean, I will, like, Diablo 3 has issues, but like your attacks always feel strong, you always feel strong, you just plow through enemies.
Well, unless you're like me where you're just like, I'm just going to turn up the difficulty so I get all the best stuff. And then you're just stuck, just slowly grinding through really tough things for a while.
Right. Oh, should I double whirlwind's damage or make a fire whirlwind? These are like both appealing. Fire. The fire one sounds much more visually satisfying. Okay, these events are less... I was thinking each one was, I don't know, telling a story or something. It seems like now and again you just encounter big hordes.
Yep. So very Left 4 Dead style. I like that.
Oh, good comparison, actually. Especially since we're dealing with, like, literal zombies. There's a couple that are like the, oh no, I don't remember any of the specific zombie-type names.
Charger... Spitter... Tank...
The Leaper?
Jockey. I think the Leaper was just the Hunter.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of, is the Hunter, yeah. I didn't play a ton of that game. I'm very bad at first-person shooters, and then when you're trying to, like, people are relying on you and you're bad at it, then it just doesn't feel good.
I like it for co-op. I'm very bad at PvP shooters. That's usually where I draw my line. Oh, Smoker.
Smoker, good call, yeah.
Okay, so we're supposed to light up three of these torches. I think this one went out. Do you want to get that one up in the middle and relight it?
Okay, yeah, I didn't realize that we had to, like, we were on a timer to pull that off. Yeah, all good.
The question is, did they drop loot? No?
Or just continually spawn zombies.
Huh. So apparently the original format for this game was just full Left 4 Dead, and they turned it into a roguelike later.
That's
interesting.
I guess that's kind of like either following what's popular, or they were just following, like, well, what are the fun parts of this game? Yeah. Does it make sense to, like, keep it the genre it's at?
Honestly, I'm pretty fine with that. I still have no idea what these are.
They clearly look important, right? It looks like an outhouse, but it has, like, a big marker on it.
Yeah, it's got the same loot symbol that the that everything else has. I don't know.
I can't forcibly break it open, but yeah, it did feel like it would be loot. Like, the game seems to actively be communicating that to me.
Yeah, there's something in this outhouse you should care about.
I guess maybe I'll care more once I've been playing another hour or two.
Yeah. Or, I mean, seeing as it just threw us in, there's a very real possibility we might unlock multiple mechanics over the course of the game as kind of a slow introduction to how things work. Oh! They're for player respawns.
Oh, and we're just so good that we've never died.
Yep. You can just keep taking those bandages.
Okay, I guess that makes sense if your guy can continually grant himself health.
Yeah, I absolutely picked the beginner-friendly character, and now I am afraid to switch to anybody else.
I don't know how you could possibly play this alone if you didn't have at least one character taking that role on. Like, if you were playing as the soup guy yourself, or...
Probably play a lot more carefully.
Oh my god! You start, like my whirling blade, like, ricochets off walls, so you just kind of go blasting into areas, and it's super fun.
I adore physics in roguelikes especially. Did you ever play much for Nuclear Throne, or probably not?
A fair amount, yeah, I got into that for a while. I don't think I ever beat it, because I was very bad.
I beat it once, and that was enough for me. And then after that, I was just like, this game is too stressful. I will play other stuff.
But as soon as you pick, like, a melee weapon and you start knocking enemies into each other and stuff, you're right, that is great.
I have been begging for more games to have that. Oh, we're supposed to go in here. That gate... I don't know what's up with this gate and why it won't open.
Yeah, it's, like, interactable, or it appears like it would be. Ah, yep, that seems very obvious now.
Father, we are seeking asylum. We beg of you, let us in.
I would, but some dimwits fired a cannon at us, and now the church is exposed. I shall not.
Yeah, I bet they just started with the Diablo style. I mean, or not Diablo style, the Left 4 Dead style. And I bet it just didn't take on as much. Like, it catch on. Not as many people were as excited for it. But making it a roguelike, maybe?
Let's get some supplies.
There's not a whole lot of difference between Left 4 Dead and a roguelike anyway. The only real difference in my mind is just that the levels are the same.
That's true. Do you know if this game has randomly generated levels at all?
Don't know. I think it must. If they're calling it a roguelike, it should.
That's true. I think Game Maker's Toolkit has, like, a really good video where they attempt to break down what we should be calling, like, proper roguelikes and lights and things like that. And it's... I don't know, my introduction to it was Binding of Isaac, not Rogue the game, so my definition's probably loose.
I started with, okay, protect the church's door, help the priest repair. We gotta recover a board.
Yeah, I started kind of just running around randomly in hopes I could find that board, but I don't want to go too far from the door. Guys keep slipping past me and bashing it.
I've got a... found it.
Okay, nice. In the top right, there's like a door health thing, too, that we could keep an eye on.
Oh, yep, I see it.
Thank you.
It didn't seem to ever be much of an issue.
Yep.
I needed...
Maybe on a harder difficulty. Oh, that's the issue.
Oh, what is happening? There's like
There's
bombers?
suiciders, yeah.
Okay. Now that we've actually boarded it, the challenge is incoming.
Yep. Let's see. So we're supposed to find some nails somewhere.
Okay, I already have an immediate thought of where to look, because I found a weird corner that seems intentional, but nothing was there.
It'll have a golden circle around it. It'll actually be super obvious.
Okay. Not where I thought. My secret little corner might just be the artifact of random level generation or something then, because it's very useless. Oh, giant golden circle. Gotcha.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking that. I just have to find the right
Giant
place
golden
to
circle.
access it.
Yeah. And my first roguelike was NetHack, which is pretty close to, like, what a true, proper roguelike should be. But honestly, there's so few actually good ones nowadays that I feel like this genre has kind of just been co-opted and turned into something else. I'm kind of fine with that.
Me too. Yeah, I've kind of just accepted it. Like,
You'll find this funny.
I was playing a lot of Hades recently. Hades has been awesome.
Yep.
Just like I don't think I've ever had
get it.
anything remotely roguelike-ish involve that much story. Oh man, so
Yeah,
cool.
there have been a couple that try, but that's the first one, in my mind, that has ever succeeded.
What are some of the other ones? I can't even think, really.
Let's see. Well, most recently, actually, even more recently than Hades, would be Going Under, which is very specifically like...
Oh, do not let him get through.
Oh, yeah, is that the one where it's kind of like an office setting?
By the
Yeah.
light, you
Yeah, they're doing
idiot.
story-based stuff with that. I'm trying to...
I only played the demo
been a
for Going
couple-
Under, so I may have missed out on that.
It's... In my opinion, it's... I don't think the roguelike elements worked very well in it. Because in Hades, like, you just keep doing runs as normal and they just give you story between. A lot
Yeah.
of roguelikes that are trying to interject story into the game as well, usually do it in kind of a more linear manner, where you, like, beat X dungeon, then you go on to the next dungeon, and so on and so forth. Okay. We can actually go through, we can go through
here's
here.
where things are gonna get dicey. Hopefully my bell can draw guys away.
I think actually we just leave.
There's a lot. There's a lot of guys. Oh, but
Yeah, they're endless. But they are worth a lot of EXP if we want to do this.
I'm not sure how hard to try and milk it.
Witness my fate.
We're doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they're dead.
I guess you can win that.
Escape, they say. Cool. Let's peace out, I guess.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the objective had updated to be like, yeah, you can leave now.
Yep, 2 chickens.
My brother's never been much of a roguelike player, but I tried to like pass the odd game on to him. He ended up really liking Dead Cells, and I know
Yeah.
he liked Bastion, so I told him about Hades, just kind of in passing, not thinking he'd check it out. He texted me like 4 hours later, and he was like, I've been playing this for 4 hours nonstop. This is
Rain
incredible.
or no rain, let
It's
us go.
such a good game.
In like a roundabout way, he convinced me to buy the game because I hadn't even bought it yet, and yeah, it's so good. Oh wait, we can actually afford our first utilities? What are curiosities?
No, you're completely correct. It did reset.
It's a weird way to track the amount of things you're earning.
Yeah. That makes some sense.
Oh, do you know why it's like that? It's because as soon as you clear an area, you like stockpile that, but if we died in the middle of that area, we would have
We'd
dropped
lose
everything.
it all. That makes perfect sense. Okay. Have you picked one yet? Because I figure we can coordinate.
There's very poor explanation of what they do.
I think it's kind of a blind pick, and then once you know what they are, it's always going to be in the same place.
Oh, wait, so it's
artifacts.
like, is survival not the same thing every time that stacks? Like, there are separate, totally
My bet is
individu-
the top right survival is always going to be the same thing, but you don't know what it is until you pick it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, let's pick different things.
Come see my wares.
Yeah. So I'm going to go for the top right survival and just see what curio I get.
I'm gonna go bottom left performance. Well, yeah, what was yours?
Okay, paper bag. Health regenerates slowly if only one chunk of health is missing.
Oh, man, so if you can get yourself
That's-
back up to, like, that 9/10 area, you're golden.
Yeah. Not really that helpful for me, though. I'll equip it, but...
I did bottom left performance, fresh mint... Oh, wait. Fresh mint Manfred coin. Every stack of gold you pick up has a 30% chance to be worth double.
Nice. I think actually the positions are different because I don't have a bottom left performance.
Oh, yeah, when you said top right survival, I thought you meant just the most top right one.
No.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
cool.
yeah, our stuff is totally different then.
Oh. And so apparently when you die, you lose one of those health chunks, quote unquote, permanently unless you get a healing salve.
What? That sounds super
Yeah.
punishing.
I mean, I think as a roguelike, you're just supposed to die a bunch. We're just doing really well.
Oh, like you would respawn at the outhouse with less max health.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I thought if you started
Yeah,
a new
not
run...
not permanently overall. Oh god,
Yeah.
that'd be awful. I've never played a roguelike with that aggressive of a death penalty, and that would be miserable.
Yeah, that's too much. Definitely too much. I'm gonna do the healing salve and
Shop
just
here.
try and get myself to a better place health-wise. Oh, it's a full heal. Awesome.
Wow.
I'm set. I wish I had your thing that you like re-heal if you stay at 9/10.
Hey. Wow.
Are we earning perks at the same rate? Like, do we have shared
Yeah,
experience?
yeah. If you notice it at the top, it says team experience, so we don't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about getting out of sync. I'm just gonna hide here while I pick.
Yeah, this seems like a good place to stop. Until explosive guys run around the corner and explode all over, as they're known to do. Oh, 2 charges of Whirling Blade? Yes, I'm just gonna fly all over the place. You purposely left behind the frag bomb?
Yeah,
Alright, I'll play around
I've already
with
got
that.
grenades.
Okay, that's really satisfying. Huge cooldown. It takes like 45 seconds.
Ooh. Hey, bandage over here if you want it.
Yeah, I'm actually not carrying any right now, so that would be perfect. Oh, those little soup grenades are yours. I mean, now I know they're soup grenades. At first, they just looked harmful.
Well, they're harmful, just not to you.
Yes. I have soup immunity.
I'm not used to, well, not only immunity, you just benefit from it.
That's true.
I'm not used to orange being the friendly color. You know, usually it's blue or green. Orange is different for me.
Good point.
I mean, it makes sense from a soup perspective, but...
Right, yeah. I also guess it's probably because purple and orange are opposites on the color wheel, so they, like, contrast highly.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
I feel like something I'm like vaguely aware of from movie posters, but now that you're talking about like the benefits and things, I'm totally thinking back to Rasputin's video from a couple months ago about like how purple is used in video games. I'm not sure if you've seen that one, but it's a very good analysis.
I don't think I've actually heard of them before. I keep my head down maybe a little bit too much. It wasn't until recently that I even looked at other creators. So like I found you, I think months ago when you did I think it was Garden Story, because I was looking for like statue out of the shroud. What's this do? Ah, invincibility for a short period of time.
You have level 3 of your gyroscope? That's awesome.
Yep, I found several of them.
Okay.
So just
that's funny that Garden Story was the one you found, because I think that has like 100 views.
yeah, I was just looking for, well, gyroscope level 4.
That's awesome.
I was just looking for artwork to use for the thumbnail, and your thumbnail was right up in there. I was like, oh, this guy does random indie games, because I will follow other creators to see what they play, just in case I miss like a demo, because PR companies are weirdly bad about reaching out sometimes, and so I find, you know, just following a bunch of other YouTubers is like, hey, Two Left Thumbs just covered Garden Story. I haven't seen Garden Story. Is it good? Yep. All right, I should play that myself.
I've absolutely taken advantage of that. And also, I feel you very strongly on PR companies not really... I guess they have certain things in mind, like, oh, what would help this blogger cover the game more effectively, but rarely YouTubers. So, like, just give me a PNG of your logo and, like, one piece of key art, please. That's all I want.
Yeah, I've resorted to begging developers to give me a logo. It's kind of embarrassing. On the plus side, I do feel like the further I get, the more clout I end up with. And so more developers are just like, do you got advice for us? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, set up a press kit.
Yep. Yeah,
That's
so I've
like...
got
I think we ended up in very different spots, and we're trying to find explosives.
Oh, hi. Yeah.
Wow, we're
keep ending up with these. I'm sorry.
We're really,
There
really
are-
cashing in on these glyphs and gold and everything now. I guess because we're deeper into the game, it's
Yeah, the
paying
harder-
that out more readily. Which makes a lot of sense for this sort of meta progression thing. Like, you should be rewarded for making it deep into the game rather than, like, farming the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap to the invincibility thing just because I know that there's 2 ready to be picked up.
Ah. I just like my cooldown reduction thing.
Oh yeah, does it
That
just
means-
mean when it's tier 4, can you use it more often, or does it have like multiple charges?
Oh, you will like this one. Okay, so it just resets the cooldowns on all of my abilities, which actually isn't really that helpful because the cooldowns are already pretty short. Because I got a perk that reduces cooldowns by a third.
Oh wow.
It also gives me a short period of cooldown reduction. Oh, we're looking for the bomb to blow this up.
I totally lost where the other invincibility thing is. Oh, I found the bomb. There's a cart full of explosives.
Oh,
I guess we'll need to protect that, or else we're blowing ourselves
Yep.
sky high.
I think it just doesn't go anywhere. I think it doesn't have a health bar. No, push me, cart.
Taking a very extra long route. We're not guiding it in
Where's
any
it
way,
going?
are we?
Who is in charge of this thing?
There was like a straight line. There's no need to
Yeah.
try and deke anyone out here.
Well,
I'm actively carrying a frag bomb. Can I just throw that at
yeah,
the door
can I throw
instead?
that instead? I saw something to the extent of like the horde is coming, but I'm not seeing it. Anyway, so the gyroscope has a shorter cooldown than normal because it's tier 3, and the tier 4 perk is it affects everybody. So if you ever need a cooldown refresh, let me know.
Oh,
Mine are actually
awesome.
pretty short.
That's really cool that it starts, like it reaches a point where it becomes a team benefit. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that the cooldown reducing item eventually reduces its own cooldown when you upgrade it, that's just kind of funny.
Yeah, that's actually... It's very smart. I almost wish I got to choose just like my own perks, because...
Oh, if you
I
could
just
kind
like
of
that element of-
upgrade that thing independently.
Yeah, or, you know, you just get like 2 or 3 options every time you upgrade an artifact. It's like, do I want this cooldown thing to reduce my cooldowns or like double ability? I don't know. I'm sure
No, I
there's
think
more.
that's a good bit of feedback, because that's the way the rest of your like skill progression works in this game, and that would really,
It
I don't
just
know,
feels so
encourage you to
good.
play around with things a lot and try new artifacts.
Yeah. Well, might also just convince you to stick with the same artifacts for longer because there's more to... I don't know.
Maybe. That was one thing with Diablo 3, right? Is that they kind of did a more simplified...
Whoa!
What is going on?
I don't know, but I took a lot of... Oh, there was a boss in there, and he hurt.
Yeah, I just showed up and you were at like a quarter health, but things were also dead, so I kind of missed everything.
Yeah. It was a weird time.
I got a chicken down here somewhere, but I think it got away from me. And now your guy's running in place. Okay, he's good. He's good.
Okay. Netcode is always one of the things I'm most worried about when it comes to games, because there's nothing I can do about netcode. I mean, maybe there is. Currently not.
Ooh, I finally have a stacked item. I have
Whoa.
a tier 2 frag bomb that has half cooldown. And that was its biggest
Nice.
issue, was slow cooldown.
And it's a big AoE, too.
Yeah, it's very satisfying. Oh, with Diablo 3, they did like this same simplified skill thing, and I get it, because it's really accessible and kind of fun to just quickly mess around with your skills and try new things, and that is fun, and it made it fun to play through every character, but then as soon as you reach the like max level, it was like, oh, there's nothing left to do. Because there's not the freedom
Yeah.
to create a build.
I think the point of the build was actually the... What are they called? the set bonuses from like the really end game pieces of equipment.
Right,
I think
yeah,
that was,
good point. They did kind of make that the build system instead.
still
But
would
that's
prefer
funny because it's
more
like they
options.
took the Diablo 3 system that's fun to experiment with, but doesn't feel very good late game, and turned it into a roguelike. And so that's a really smart idea, because if the end game's not the fun part, then take out the end game. What was
Keep picking up
the Tome of Improvement there?
I keep trying to kind of admit to this. I keep picking them up, not because I mean to, but just because it happens.
Okay.
Tome of Improvement gives small perks, so more damage, more attack speed. I've mostly just been pumping all my points into ability damage.
Nice.
But I think I've picked up too many of them. I'm going to try and stay away, but you pick them up immediately, and I don't think there's an option for me to say, like, hey, I'm being greedy. Don't give this to me.
It's a little bit interesting the way that most things have been made shared in this game, that one is, hey, only one person's going to get this benefit.
Yeah.
I would recommend, if, I don't know, they're at 1.0 release, but a bit of feedback is that it would be really cool if that did apply to both of us. But, you know, you would probably have to scale up the difficulty of the game a little bit to compensate that.
Or if there was just an option of, hey, I've picked up too many of these, please give it to the other guy.
Yeah,
or even just give this item to the other guy.
Just like the
so
elixir or whatever, you just, like, don't need to pick it up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, if it was just a simple consumable item instead.
That seems like it would make more sense. I'm a little scared. There's a bunch of glowing gold boxes with one of the explosive guys in the middle of it, and I don't want to cause some big catastrophic... Oh, you're smashing the things I'm talking about.
I figure I'm full health. Fake full health, but got it. We're supposed to repair the gate.
Okay, so that was just getting those things out of the way was the only reason they were glowing?
Yeah, well, that's where the cogwheels are hiding.
Gotcha. You can't like defend yourself, right? I'm trying to like protect you.
Correct.
As best as I could, at least.
There we go. That's fine. Oh, there's the other one.
Wait, you found it? I thought I was finding it. There's a bunch of glowing crates over here again now.
Nope.
Well, I'm glad I could contribute.
It's fine. I just pure random chance that I found it there. But yeah, because I've got the so much temp HP, I'm not too worried when I'm just kind of wandering around with stuff, as long as I don't have to walk around too long. The mushrooms that my character just eats, they just spawn randomly, so I can walk over those and just get a lot of max HP back.
Oh, and the stuff you get from the mushrooms is actual HP, not the temporary stuff?
No, it's temp HP.
Okay.
But I mean, it might as well be temp or actual HP, considering how much I've stacked.
Yeah, your thing is just fully filled at all times.
Yep.
You seem to immediately like to understand the concept of temp HP. I don't think I've played a game that has that, so it was a weird thing to get used to.
I'm trying to think of which game has temp HP in this exact manner. The problem is, because I play so many games, everything is too familiar, and so it's very rare that I'm thrown off by a mechanic.
Right.
Unless it's very poorly described. Or if it's like a mobile game mechanic. Anything from mobile games that's like strictly a mobile game thing is a problem. So I was playing Genshin Impact, which very much is just like a mobile gacha kind of game. And I'm sitting there just trying to understand how do gachas work, because, yeah, PCs don't have that kind of thing at all. And so I'm just sitting there like an old man being like, what does this do? How does this work? I don't like this. I still don't like it, but at least I understand now.
Yeah, I try to be less critical of mobile games because I just don't understand them. It's like, maybe this is fantastic and people who love this thing would love this, and I just don't have that. Yeah. It's funny that you're because again, this is making me think of that Rasputin. If I would recommend one guy who talks about video games, he'd probably be the one. Because I found him through his series, Gaming for a Non-Gamer, where he just got his
bail,
wife
by
to
the way.
play
Like,
games.
I'm dying. I'm
dying too. Oh god. I grabbed a bandage. I think I'm alive. These poison guys are terrible. Are you still actually alive? I have only temporary health left.
I only have temp HP. I'm gonna just hang out here.
I gotta catch up to you and just come chug delicious soup, because I'm not gonna make it.
Well, I got an outhouse for you when you get here.
Did they light up or anything to, like, signal that you have made... How did you end up so far ahead? What was I doing with my time?
Yeah, it's these guys. Well, you were fighting. I'm just gonna kind of hang out here and hope you catch up.
I might have been fighting through some sort of infinite respawn. I'm here.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. We have to reach the monastery.
So are we just trying to fly through, skip things as much as we can?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to fight.
My face.
I'm like earning perks and things, and I have no time to think through any of that.
Here we go. We got it.
Oh, come on.
Got it.
Holy crap, we cleared the area?
There was not a whole lot of preamble to, oh shit, run.
Yeah, that felt like maybe a tiny bit of a cheat, because I only had temp health. Like,
yeah, me too. I was shocked. There's no green on my bar left.
oh, both
I think
of us.
I only lived because I leveled. Oh my god.
That's amazing. Well, here's where the campfire can actually do something for us.
Actually save our butts. Awesome. I'm just going to keep buying survival perks and we'll see which ones are good. Oh, bleed out speed is decreased by 50%.
Hey, you there?
Not really that good, but I'll take it.
Oh, yeah, but I would recommend watching Gaming for a Non-Gamer. He just gets his wife to play games, and he just kind of pays
Okay, I've
attention
heard
to,
of
like...
that series.
Yeah, it's really interesting to, like, witness someone not have that inherent gaming knowledge to pull from.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try... I guess I should unlock a survival thing, because I keep almost dying.
Hey, you there?
I found a fireproof jacket. I'm now immune to burning effects.
Nice.
That seems pretty powerful.
What I want
think.
is the poison one. Poison immunity would be lovely. Let's see.
I think
I don't
it's
know
the
if you want
poison that ruined us, yeah.
Yeah, with that last one. Oh, shoot. Did you buy a healing salve, or did I take the last one?
That was it. Yeah, I didn't realize there was a stock at the store.
It's okay. It's all yours.
Well, I can buy some elixirs as well.
Nah. Take the healing salve. I've got more money than I know what to do with. And as far as I can tell, most of these are completely pointless.
Yeah, it's a weird thing where, like, I guess if you were desperate, you could buy some bandages, but, like, you might as well focus on the things that are going to get you permanent health.
There's bandages on the ground, by the way, if you want them. Because I have zero use for bandages 90% of the time.
Okay, and I was able to buy 3rd level frag bomb, so that's really awesome too. Which now it's low cooldown and it's very strong. The poison's horrible. What the heck? I wasn't even in the battle yet.
It hurts. Yeah.
If there ever is a poison immunity, it's gonna be by far the most important thing.
Gonna stack that. Because it's so easy to just get stuck in the middle of a group of enemies with poison and just not being able to do anything about it.
The funny thing is, having just replayed Diablo 1, that's absolutely a Diablo thing. Is poison is, like, by far the most devastating thing. So I kind of wonder if, you know, these developers probably grew up with that.
They're trying to be traditional with it.
Maybe, yeah. And in some small way, I enjoy that. I don't enjoy dying super rapidly, but can at least try to understand what they were going for.
Yep.
this is a really cool room. I wish that something was happening in it.
Yeah, if we had gone in there and just a bunch of enemies popped out, we had to fight them off, or like a lich pops out of the crypt.
Oh, see, that just sounds amazing. Just describing it sounds super cool. I wish this game had a little bit more of that going on, like slightly more event-based rather than just insane amounts of enemies.
Yeah. Did you play a whole lot of Minecraft Dungeons, or nah?
I never got around to it. No, I was kind of like, I'm going to be there day one, and then I missed my chance and was like, well, everyone's already played it to death, and I'll be the last guy, so I skipped it.
Understandable. They just did the event-based kind of gameplay rather well, from what I've experienced.
Okay. I do just love ARPGs, and so, like, regardless if it's Minecraft or any other IP, I want to play it, because I do want to know, like, what new cool things people have thought up.
My face.
I think it's time for an ultimate, maybe.
Yeah, that's where I was at. There's too many of these poison guys. They're mean.
Yeah, the ability to just blindly smash your way through is kind of fading. What is going on?
Yeah.
I just got stunned like 6 times in a row. There was like a flash on the screen, things went blurry, and I couldn't get away.
There's another frag bomb. If you
Oh.
don't...
Yeah, I think I'm at max frag bomb.
Hey.
More fragments, higher range. All sounds good to me. Thanks for keeping an eye out.
Yep.
Now I have no idea what enemy it was that was really messing me up there.
I think it's the shield guys. Oops.
Oh, that
I could be wrong.
Oh, cool. Now, like, we kind of had that corner area that looked crypt-like, but I didn't even realize we've wandered fully into, like, a crypt-like area now.
Yep.
Oh, getting a little chicken on the side. Look at you go.
I gotta get 50 of them, though. That's gonna take a while.
That's a long ways away.
I think we picked up 4. So, 10 runs for a skin? That's not... If there's only, like, 1 skin per character that's even available.
Which it might be. It might be as simple as that, eh?
Yeah. Just, there's the one thing to keep you going. Let's see. There's an elixir there if you want to pick it up and probably use it.
Yeah, I'll hold the bandage as, like, a safety and use the elixir.
Yeah. Because for me, I can't get more temp HP than my max HP. Oh, they're coming here, buddy. Oh, no. Clear foes in the area. I keep suspecting them of... I keep expecting another one of those, like, just run to the finish, and I'm like, I'm ready to go now.
Like, was that the intended way of beating that level? Because, like...
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's what the objective said. Yeah.
Oh, man, I totally misunderstood. That's why I was just sitting there trying to fight everything in the first portion of it.
The other thing I noticed is there is a maximum level per zone, so even sitting there farming was not actually productive.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, that makes total sense. So you can't just try and cruise, like, camp out in level 1 and then cruise through the rest.
Yeah.
It's a good way to stop people from exploiting anything to farm chickens or glyphs or anything.
Yeah.
The idea of farming chickens, I said it without thinking about that.
Wrong game for that.
I'm never leaving the village. I'm just going to stay behind, carve out a nice quiet piece of land, maybe find myself a nice partner to settle down with, and I'm just going to farm chickens.
Starburg. Nah, doesn't quite work. I'd play that, though. Kind of like a weird version of Bloodborne, where your character is just like, yeah, I'm just gonna set up a farm in the middle of, you know, this super doomed town.
I guess it's a little bit what Atomic Crops was going for.
Yeah? No, that's a good point.
I didn't play a ton of that game. It was pretty fun, but it takes a particular person, I think, because the mechanics layered in a way that, like, I felt out of my depth very quickly.
You know, it's a combination of 2 genres that I'm very well versed in, and I was still lost the entire time.
Right. It might have been lesser than the sum of its parts, even though it was still a fun game.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem I ran into with Atomic Crops is purely just, oh boy.
I think I'm gonna
just
go
not
ultimate
gonna
here.
do
There we go. It just popped up with like 5 achievements of like, you killed this enemy and like I didn't even have a chance to understand anything that just happened. It was just a lot of destruction really suddenly.
Yeah, you must have just aced the boss in one shot.
My ultimate is Exorcism, and I just shoot a direct beam that just does continuous damage the entire time the beam's touching. It's very strong. I bounce when I use my hopping move with that perk. It automatically bounces twice. And now I have multiple charges of like most of my skills, and so I feel like I could really just start chaining together skills.
Yep, that's why I went for the cooldown reduction. I figured this way there's not a whole lot of points where I'm not going to be able to just hit a skill and keep going.
That's totally, I think, a good strategy, because if you can just chain together using 10 spells in a row, you're gonna beat most things. Like, there's a temptation for me to grab the gyroscope, but I'm gonna play around with other things still.
Okay. Yeah, feel free to if you want to, because I am capped out, so
Right.
there's no...
There's
no
not that
stepping
many
on
different
toes.
ones, but I guess there couldn't be that much variety without making it so that you would too rarely find repeats to stack.
Or we have to unlock them with subsequent runs.
Oh, that'd be really cool. I'd be up for that. I do love that. When the more you play a game, the more mechanics and content start
the
being
more
added.
toys you get. Okay, so we got a light 3.
Yeah, same thing we should be used to.
Yeah,
as long as I
think
can
it's actually
find
the
the
exact
access.
same layout.
Oh, my double jump thing is my new favorite skill. It was easily the least fun to use, and now it's the best.
Okay, did you get that bonfire?
Yes.
We're good.
Yeah, with just a nice shared mind there. We just kind of independently did what needed to be done.
Yep.
Oh, I totally have not... I meant to bring it up when I asked about your character's mana earlier, and then I just never mentioned it. I don't have mana, but I have fervor. Do you have anything like that?
Nope, just cooldowns. I guess what I do have is the more mushrooms I collect, the faster my soup thing charges.
Okay, so it seems like a similar general play on that. Because mine's like the Barbarian's Rage. The more things you kill, the stronger you get. And then it cools back down when you're out of combat.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Well, it's a good
I'd have to
indication
play your
of like
character.
character variety.
Here it is. Potion and a bandage for you if you want them.
Oh, really? That's funny, because I just really haven't been struggling
lot of
with
damage?
health in a while.
Yeah, now that we know what to be wary of with the poison dudes.
Yeah, that definitely was the the biggest knockback.
Yeah, because them getting added made everything spooky.
Yeah, the next step after that, I'm sure, would have been that boss. Like, I think this game could maybe have the tiniest bit more put into the boss battles, because right now you don't even notice them till they're already dead.
Yeah, some amount of that might just be us doing really well.
I would love to give us the credit, absolutely. I will say, when I played this, I played it for 5 minutes alone.
I'm
just
getting wrecked by a dude.
Oh, okay, I'm coming.
Executioner's got me.
Try to help. Tried to stun him. Okay. Holy crap! Yeah, you're pretty well toast.
Yeah,
The
it's
next
okay. I'm fine.
next elixir might need to be for you. Oh, you have one already.
Yeah, I do have one. The thing is, I'm not sure how much I need them, because the temp health, like... Temp health is just regular HP for me.
Right.
So, like, I guess I could quaff it.
Yeah, I think you're on temp health. Oh, you have a sliver. You have a sliver of your green left.
Yeah, I got a little bit of max HP, but I don't know if I care. Yeah. I think I'll be okay.
Especially considering we have reached max level for this area, so that is probably a good indication that we're near the end. Oh man, 75 of those glyphs. So maybe I would like to save up for a fancy one next.
Yeah. Especially because we can equip one of the fancy ones without having to unlock them.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's probably worthwhile to max out your like loadout before you worry about unlocking additional slots.
Yeah. Hey. Oh wait, no, you put away the statuettes in favor of the grenade.
Yeah. At this point, we've found like 5 of them. I easily could have maxed it, but...
Hey, I got enough. And we're done.
What happened in the... What did it ask of you? You said you had enough.
Oh, I have enough of the purple stuff. Sorry.
Oh, okay. For a fancy?
Be the end? Yeah, for a fancy. Just enough.
Oh, yeah, okay, 100... I forgot that it would roll over to what we had last time. Well, I've gone 1 survival and 1 performance, so I guess I'll do a fancy utility.
Hey, you there!
I've just been picking up survival in case I want to play another character. The problem is they don't seem that great. Like, this one is quickly regenerates HP if only up to 100 HP is missing, which I don't know how much 100 HP is, but that seems like a just better version of the previous.
That seems really... I have no concept. Yeah, good point.
Come see my wares.
Let's see.
I didn't realize these loadouts would carry between characters. I guess that would make sense. That would require a lot of playing of this game otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the meta progression.
What? Okay, my fancy thing I think is far more interesting. The Thieves Guild Secret Signet Ring grants you the opportunity to open a mysterious chest from the Thieves Guild somewhere in the section.
Oh.
So once per area, I just have a
chest hanging out there.
Yeah, I have like an extra thing to do, which is cool.
Hey,
I'm guessing you're just ditching the elixir.
Yeah, I picked up a doctor's bag. I have more money than I know what to do with, so I just bought the doctor's satchel, and I'm probably not going to use it.
Wait, does it increase your maximum health? Or does it just heal your permanent health?
Yeah, I think it just heals you. Permanent health is the green bar.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe it's not that exciting.
Yeah, if it gave you extra, oh, that'd be super good.
There's some marginally interesting sounding items, but nothing that, like, yeah, I don't really...
Come see my wares.
The Banner of Valor seems neat, but I think that's a use item, and we're already kind of stocked up there. This looks like a boss fight immediately.
Oh, okay. I would be interested if there was a way to convert my money. Manfred von Darksburg. Okay.
Darksburg.
Here I am saying that the boss battles didn't seem that exciting. Maybe we just hadn't fought a legit boss yet. Everything was just a warm-up. Oh wait, like my cooldown on the bell is such that I can use it as soon as it runs out. So I might as well just keep using the bell.
Yep. We are ruining this guy?
Yeah, I was keeping my distance until I realized it didn't matter at all. I accidentally...
Unless there's a second phase.
I whirling bladed myself completely out of the battle and missed it entirely. Nope, that was it.
I don't see any treasure chests.
Oh, so 9 might be the cap of experience.
Yeah.
Or levels. Yeah.
Yep.
I would be
looks like we're
curious
good.
if my whole Thieves Guild thing still counts for the boss area. I would kind of guess no.
That's why I did the quick scoot through. I've already checked this area, so we can probably just piece.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to apply to this area.
Man. Did you get the chance to play Torchlight 3 at all, or nah? Seeing as
No.
you're a Diablo fan.
I got sent like the Frontiers beta, and I was like, man, I'm so excited. Torchlight 2 was so fun. And then I couldn't find anyone to play with, and I was like, I'll get around to it. And then suddenly it became Torchlight 3, and then it just kind of was a very, like, I don't know, just kind of a thud of a release. Like, it seemed like no one was
It was an
excited.
absolute thud. I played it on like the first day that it came out, and I was just, it barely worked, and it wasn't very fun. And I feel like this is kind of what they wanted it to be. Well, not really, but this feels better.
Okay, that gives me a reference point.
Yeah, I think the idea for Torchlight is there. The execution was was definitely the weak part of it. But just playing this is like, oh yeah, this reminds me of if Torchlight 3 was actually fun. And maybe Torchlight 3 is better now that they fixed the netcode and some other things. But I'm digging the idea of a Diablo-like that's meant to be played over the course of an hour, as opposed to just like churn through 12 hours of... I mean, honestly, it's the same thing one way or another. It's just the question of, is it handled as a roguelike or is it handled some other way? All right, shall we mix it up?
Yeah, try different characters and things. I'd be super down to do another run. Let's mix it up and do that.